Everywhere you look on the internet, there's a random man trying to tell other men how to live life and become high value individuals. Unfortunately, almost always, these self-appointed tutors turn out to be con artists. Whether it's for pushing crypto scams or preying on the unfortunate souls that believe their message. I'm talking, of course, about the so-called alpha males or red pill influencers. Starting off with Luke Belmar. He is recently trending because of this video.
Tristan Tate pulled up a video, his favorite whiskey, Johnny Walker. What do I do at duty free? Fucking Johnny Walker. That night, sipping the fucking Johnny Walker in the war room by myself with him, chilling. Why? I studied, bro. Oh shit, this guy's paying attention.
So many people roasted him in the comments for being a fake alpha male. Any Reddit thread about Luke Belmar is sure to give you a taste of just how the public sees this guy.
Your favorite car, bro? The red one, the Aston Martin. Tristan thinks well, guys. Critical thinking, I fucking love it.
He isn't the first alpha male to sell a course or claim unverified millions in their account.
When was the last time you sat down with a blank piece of paper and just like brainstormed? Ever heard that? I got a problem at the top. Lit right out the problem. Give me a fucking 100 solutions for that problem. I don't know what Chill the fuck out. What is gonna happen? Relax, G.
So why does it seem like everyone is hating on Belmar? The answer is quite simple. Bro thinks he's him. One look at Luke Belmar's website will tell you just the kind of person he is. Belmar would like you to believe he has made his money through dropshipping and smart investments in crypto. Just another finance bro, working while the rest of us sleep. However, when you take a look at the people who inspired his business sense and worldview, you start to understand just how much of a crooked figure he actually is. Some of Belmar's role models are the Tate brothers and Ty Lopez. All three who have been linked to scams and selling false knowledge in the past. But wait, it gets worse. Belmar's content is all about discipline, mindset, and personal development. Yet, how he lives and what he preaches are night and day. For example, while Belmar says your body is a temple, that didn't stop him from being addicted to weed and mushrooms, even to the point of losing millions of dollars in trading.
I don't feel like you're the type of guy that has many bad habits.
I have skeletons in my closet, brother. You know, at a point I was smoking weed. I've been sober from it. Why? Because I realized that that thing was controlling my life. But I do have times where I'm disobedient to what I know I'm supposed to do, and I choose to not be obedient to those things that I've committed to myself. Earlier this year, I went on like I was smoking cannabis too much, more than I should have. And in 1 month, I lost $3.6 million.
People on social media also seem to have caught up with Belmar's bad habits, like this Reddit thread with replies such as, "He's definitely lying and faking a lot of stuff. I can't trust anything he says anymore." On podcasts, you'll see him saying that he treats his body like a temple, never cheats, wouldn't even eat a bag of chips ever, etc. But off camera, you'll see him smoking cigars, smoking weed, and drinking booze and eating crap. But wait, there's more. According to one of Belmar's biggest critics, the alpha bro might not even be the grass to grace story he sold to everyone who cared to listen, with Ompaville calling him a nepo baby.
Let's just say there are definitely some red flags though, and some lies that exist beneath the polished exterior of the youth haircut reveal that this internet entrepreneur is in fact a scammer nepo baby who takes advantage of the soft, smooth minds of young men like myself.
But why would Ompaville believe that? Well, it's simple. Luke Belmar is a fabrication. Belmar's full government name is Lucas Emmanuel Uriah Dice, and before he became Luke Belmar, he simply was Lucas Dice, or Luke Dice. However, if you look up his government name on the internet, the results do not lead back to Belmar. While it's no crime to use another name or want to be private, it does seem a little shady that someone who prides himself on wanting the truth and nothing short of that, he seemingly didn't exist prior to 2019 when he created Capital Club. Not so much as a random Facebook post or a dumb hot take on Twitter that has since aged like milk. Nothing. So Belmar just popped up out of nowhere and became a well-known guru overnight. It just doesn't sound right. But reviews from his course on Trustpilot shows that people are starting to wake up to his BS, with one commenter writing, "This is why when you Google him, it doesn't say his parents. LOL, he knows what's up. He's just hiding it. Fake gurus sell the dreams, real gurus shut the F up and don't say nothing. All his information about his parents, he lies about it. Cry about it CC. Also, CC is literally just an off-brand version of Discord. All BS. He is the Matrix itself. LOL, don't buy if you don't know what you're doing. Speaking of Capital Club, it used to be a privilege to be a part of the community. Farther low price of 15 grand. Belmar welcomed new recruits into his empire when he first started. Now though, he's reduced the cost to $5.99 and then to $3.69 per year. For that much, you get access to his exclusive club, which teaches you everything you need to succeed, apparently. Doesn't it seem like every alpha male has a course or exclusive club to sell you? Maybe that's just me. Unfortunately, such a high cost doesn't mean this glorified alpha male club is worth your time or money. To be fair to Belmar though, the popular thoughts surrounding his course that the dropshipping section is quite useful and helpful, especially as that's the business that he got started with. But for a little more money, like 1 to 1.5 ETH per year, you could be a part of an even more exclusive club within his already exclusive club called Gem Hunters. This extra membership allows you to join the VIP live sessions, private Telegram groups, real life crypto meetups, and receive monthly reports. However, as one YouTube commenter wrote, the rest of the course besides the dropshipping one is mostly fluff, and you can find it on the internet. And when you do find poor reviews, by God, are they a gold mine. Capital Club may have 4.7 stars on Trustpilot, but the bad reviews that call Luke fake and his course is a scam is where the real gist is. An ex-student described the free courses as being more beneficial than the paid ones, which isn't something you want to hear after giving a random YouTuber over $300 of your hard-earned money. But other students were less satisfied, especially when you throw in problems with canceling your subscription into the mix. Another dissatisfied customer compared Capital Club to a playground for teens and preteens, writing, "This club is just a bunch of teens and kids trying to act cool by claiming they make tons of money, yet all they do is get a little bit from referral links." The over 1,000 reviews are all purchased, in part by the people actually spending money on this crap. If not bought, then definitely bought it. If you value your time and money, don't waste either on this scam. Luke doesn't give any advice, and he is just showboating about how he scammed a bunch of kids. He tells so many lies. I can teach a college course on how much of a fake this guy is. Please don't support a man who couldn't care whether you live in a cardboard box or a mansion. Only he would care if you lived in a mansion, cause then he could use you for his low quality YouTube videos. So is Capital Club a scam? I'll let you be the judge of that. Belmar though continues to be involved in crypto scams as of late. In 2021, for example, he was involved in an NFT project called Divine Anarchy. Interestingly, rather than following the project with his main social media account, Belmar created an anonymous Twitter account which was eventually traced back to him. Shady much? What happened next was the howler of the year. For someone claiming to be so business smart, Belmar hired a terrible developer who made a terrible mistake on the project that continued to charge people who joined the project long after minting was complete. This led to over 2 million just disappearing into thin air. Whether you call this a scam or an error is up to you, but it's not a good look for someone who is supposed to be the best thing in business since sliced bread, and people were not happy with that. Luke Belmar says, "Escape the matrix." I say, escape this con alpha male. The next name on our list has even worse rep than Luke Belmar. It's none other than Wes Watson. 1 minute, Wes Watson was a convicted criminal. The next, he was a self-proclaimed guru in fitness, motivation, and business. But how does one man manage to turn his life around from crime to become a celebrated influencer? To understand, we must return to where it all began. At only 12, while other kids his age was focused on school, Watson was already a stoner. By 14 or 15, he had become a drug dealer.
I just like smoking weed. I started smoking weed at like 13 or 12. By the time I was 14 or 15, I was like, fuck this, I need to get this shit for free. So obviously the natural progression was to start slanging.
This move from user to slinger proved to be the right step for him, as he began to make lots of sales and rise up through the ranks. In no time, he was a middleman, which increased his income significantly.
Now all of us are stuck in these other cages. The crazy thing is this motherfucking day, there were some crazy skins in there, some crazy ass fools from Dago. And the motherfuckers, you know, they knew there was a white Crip. They seen him on the bus and they were ready. While
it seems like Watson had a hard life growing up, which pushed him into a life of crime, it's from this part of his story that a lot of things start to not add up. According to a commenter who claims to be a cop, Watson would have to be selling a crap load of weed to be able to make as much as he claimed he did in his teens. Another commenter who claimed to be from the same town as Watson denied knowing him, saying it would have been impossible for Watson to be unknown if he did such numbers as a teenager. This wasn't the first time people have poked holes in Watson's story or personality, and it certainly wouldn't be the last. Watson claims to have spent a decade in a California prison, but many have since pointed that out as a lie, saying he did time in Oklahoma instead, and he was in for less than 10 years. After becoming a free man again, Watson took to social media and YouTube to launch Watson Fit before slowly rebranding as a fitness and lifestyle influencer. His combination of self-help content with stories about personal growth and his time behind bars made Watson sound more human and relatable, which is what drew audiences to him in the first place. Gradually, his brand evolved to become more than just getting fit or turning your life around. He began to preach dominance, control, and being an alpha. If you're not suffering, you're weak. If you're not grinding 24/7, you're soft. And if you even think about showing emotion, well, congratulations, you already lost.
That there's men out there that can't get up. You can't get up, motherfucker. What the fuck can you do then? What type of selfish bitch are you in your mind?
But Watson doesn't just preach self-discipline. Oh no, if you've been unfortunate to see any of his videos, you know his gospel is hard, extreme, and almost military-like. And then there's the delivery. Yelling, cursing, barking orders like he's running a boot camp for lost souls. Some say it's tough love. Others say it's just an over-the-top aggression wrapped in motivational buzzwords. I agree with the second. Watson is just another red pill loser with a harder edge and louder voice. He talks a big game about maintaining control and not letting irrelevant things define you. That's rich coming from the big, swole man who can't handle being sharp. Not to mention that all his discipline flew out the window when he and 3 others ganged up on a gym goer earlier this year. While one could make the argument that the gym goer asked for it, since it seemed like both sides had beef prior to the meet, not many are left defending Watson after he claimed self-defense when the footage of the incident showed him and his friends beating the victim with gym equipment.
Now take a look. You see the monster lunge forward. I can't tell if he's going after Wes or if he's being pushed from this footage, but you can see the hassle with the dumbbell in his hand, with his arm around his back, and then Wes is pulling his ponytail. And then we have another one of the goons throwing a kick to his face and then holding him down with his other hand. And then the biggest pussy of them all, this fat pig, he throws a kick to make it look like he did something, the piece of shit.
For context, this incident happened at Watson's gym, but it wasn't random. Apparently, the disciplined alpha male had the brilliant idea to challenge people to come and fight him. According to Johnny Bravo Films, their only mistake was thinking that Watson was gonna fight them alone or fairly.
He challenged people, them thinking it's a one-on-one. They go, and it's not a one-on-one. It's weapons. It's his goon little fuckers next to him, all beating down this guy brutally. Then after he's done, he beats him again, almost killing the guy.
Watson got slapped with 5K in bail charges for aggravated assault and was warned not to go within 500 feet of the victim.
The victim suffered a face fracture, concussion, and 2 black eyes, but it looks like you have a very valid legal argument, Mr. Gottlieb.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would ask for an ROR.
Well, your order to stay away from the alleged victim, no contact with the victim, either directly, indirectly, in person, in writing, by telephone, or through third parties, and you must stay at least 500 feet away from the victim's home, school, and place of employment at all times. Do you understand the stay away from, sir?
Yeah.
All right. So I understand he went to the gym. He punched him, and then they used a weight. He used a weight belt.
Correct.
So I get aggravated. There's probable cause for, I guess, the felony. You want me to split them both, 2,500 each? I'm not giving an ROR.
I understand, Judge. 5,000 is acceptable. Thank you.
$2,500 bond count 1, $2,500 bond count 2. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. You too. Mr. Watson, I'll take care of that. Thank you.
This incident wasn't the first time Watson turned out to be a rage monster. with no thought behind his eyes. In fact, on a Fresh and Fit Live podcast, Watson went off on Andrew Wilson for having a different worldview, calling Wilson a bag of trash several times and less than a man for not being ripped. It might interest you to know that this was supposed to be a panel of people discussing what success meant to them. Watson spewed his unusual nonsense of money and being ripped as a definition of success, while Wilson believed family was his yardstick for measuring success.
My definition of success is across the board. If you're not ripped, if you're not rich, if you ain't rare, if you don't stand out, if you ain't across the board successful, it doesn't mean fucking shit to me.
Somehow, this rubbed Watson off the wrong way, and he went on trying to belittle Wilson, calling him names and threatening to smack him. Thankfully, Wilson stood his ground regardless.
Do you have money? Does he have money?
No.
Do you have money?
No, I don't have.
How much money do you have?
I don't
Does he
have money. But here's the thing. Why is money valuable?
Do you have money?
What is money valuable for?
Look at your goddamn self.
Okay,
I've never seen such a pathetic motherfucker.
Okay, well,
let's chill out a little bit, man. A little bit.
If being a rotted out hunk wasn't bad enough, Watson has also been involved in some scummy dealings. One internet user who tried to sign up for Watson's business coaching took to Reddit to share he was almost defrauded. Comments under the post shared sentiments that Watson had in fact changed and had allowed wealth and fame to get to his head. One commenter wrote, "I liked his original content, but ever since he started doing his mansion videos and rapper lifestyle private jets and big sports cars, I immediately could feel the vibe shift. This was a man talking about the benefits of a mind free from wants, while he clearly needed the validation from material goods to show the world that he was enough. Like the Lord says, what shall it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his own soul?" Basically, I felt like I was listening to a schemer and have stopped. Another added, his ex-wife Valerie made a comment about this when they broke up. She said something along the lines of, "You think it's Wes talking to you and helping you, and it's not, it's me. He doesn't do sh-." At first, I thought she was just being spiteful and lying, but after reading your post, I'm not so sure. Very interesting and unfortunate. I'm sorry this happened to you. Meaning that even when Watson was humble and relatable, he wasn't being entirely original and was instead following a script created by his ex-wife. But if you think Wes Watson is worse, you should see the next figure on this list, who had even a better past than him. Meet Martin Gaines. Martin Gaines is one of the two faces behind the Fresh and Fit podcast. He is a former special agent who served in the Department of Homeland Security before quitting active service to take on social media through content creation and podcasting. After starting the Fresh and Fit podcast alongside Fresh, Gaines became one of the most controversial figures in the influential space for his hot takes on women, finance, and dating. He is as red pill as they come. During the pandemic, the podcast blew up on TikTok after Gaines ranted on the mic about how men should treat women. He said, when a girl tells you, "Hey, let's rain check or reschedule," you should simply respond, "Hey, that's cool, but I'm not really a fan of flaky girls." And how did he come to this very same conclusion, you ask, dear viewer? It's quite simple. According to the man, if you take her on a date after she did some BS like that, she's gonna think it's okay. Don't reinforce bad behavior with positive treatment. To say the video blew up would be the understatement of the year. Their TikTok account had a little over 50,000 followers at the time. So when Gaines' little rant went viral, it tore social media users into two groups. One side agreed with Gaines and the other thought he was another delusional alpha male. Whichever side you stood didn't matter though, because TikTok would ban their account soon afterwards due to the backlash that followed. That was a breath of fresh air for many people, women especially, who were starting to take note of Gaines' negative content on TikTok, especially with his dumb videos like never be vulnerable to your girl and how to date multiple girls at the same time.
Women are not built to handle masculine problems. Being vulnerable with a woman is some of the worst advice that modern day women give to men, because if I sit there and I cry to you, "Oh my God, my life is hard, blah, 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 blah," you might sit there and console me for a bit, but deep down you're like, "You fucking bitch." And you're gonna go and find someone.
So not true. I know.
After the TikTok was taken down, one user took to Twitter to write, "Absolutely clueless. If you want to know what we want, maybe just ask and we would tell you. Just follow some girls on Twitter." Another followed it with, his whole thing yells, "I'm a desperate single guy with absolutely no luck and will literally do anything to hook up with a woman, even if that means treating them like an animal vibe. Pathetic." If having strong opinions about women was a drug, Gaines was definitely slinging. He'd go on to slander an entire race of women, stating on the podcast that he did not date ghetto black women and Shaniquas, a statement that his co-host also agreed to. Gaines shared this profound knowledge with the world when the conversation about BLK, the dating app for black singles, came up. He said, "It's funny, I never used that one. I mean, hey bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it. Me and Fresh aren't really down with the brown like that. Being night riders. Sometimes, if they're red bone, but I mean in general, me and Fresh don't dabble in the dark, if you know what I mean." Both men tried to dodge a backlash and you would come by saying it was just a preference, that they don't have to date black women. But unfortunately, that did little to help, considering that Gaines is well known for making horrible comments about African Americans, like when he and Fresh invited Nick Fuentes, a well-known white supremacist, onto their podcast and encouraged him to say the N-word.
How she referred to blacks then? How she referred
You don't want to hear my second choice.
Oh yeah, I
Come on, man. I want you to say it.
For real. I want to hear it. What you got?
You want me to say it?
Yes. Say it. Come on, Nick. What you got?
All right.
In another episode of the podcast that ended up in an elevator fight, Gaines got into a shouting match with a guest, whom he called the N-word.
Get the out of here. Get the out of here. Screenshots of me. She's ugly. You know what? Oh no, I'm not. I'm gonna tell you that you're ugly. You look.
Your mom does, and everything you're saying bounce off of me and sick. You that fucking on.
You ugly. You smell like onions. You smell like onions.
I declare not to do that. The show is gonna be in the fucking dick. Just like you and your.
Do it.
Not to mention that when the podcast was criticized by commentary duo ABA and Preach, Marin and Fresh made the controversial choice of making a video calling ABA and Preach monkeys, with Marin performing as one.
Yo, Prince is like a. It looks like a monkey. You should see him build momentum. What the? Yo, every time this thing, I got a problem with you. Imagine them. Yo, nigga looks like a monkey. Preacher's over there looking like Magilla Grill and Donkey Kong having a baby. Like, Prince like uses his head. Look
Thankfully, TikTok wasn't the only platform to have had enough of Marin's rubbish. In 2023, Fresh and Fit revealed to their followers they have been locked out of their YouTube partner program. That meant they could no longer make money from their content. Ironically, both Marin and Fresh are clueless about why they got banned. Marin even added that the location they have used for filming the podcast didn't want them using the property anymore. I love doing this. I'd be lying to you guys if I didn't say I love doing this. I left a job that I truly love to do this, Marin said while tearing up before adding, "I shouldn't be admitting this, but saving children right was great, but saving you guys is better."
And guys, we the channel has been kicked off the YouTube partner program. Just keep it straight with
If you look right now, you can't even super chat or
you can't even super chat right now.
So this is the beginning of the end of this era.
So we are in trolling chat. So
yeah. So you literally can't. Yeah, man. So it's so basically
at this point
we don't know what can happen with YouTube.
Yeah, we don't know.
It's really out of our hands. And even where we shoot the location doesn't want us to stay here. Saving children, right? That was great, but saving you guys is better.
How poetic. Anyway, before you get all soft for them, remember, this is the same guy who wrote a book in 2023 titled Why Women Deserve Less. Some of his profound wisdom in this book included: the relationship between most men and women throughout all of history has been transactional. It has been prostitution. All men are Johns, all women are whores. If you believe Gaines is a high-value individual with anything to preach but hate, you might want to rethink your worldview. Next up is another alpha male figure who also does dating and motivational content. It's none other than FitX Fearless. FitX Fearless is a YouTuber who advises his followers on staying fit and maintaining relationships. Since opening his YouTube channel, he has grown to more than 600,000 subscribers. Like other gurus, Fearless carries himself as a men's coach, so his teachings mostly revolve around men being independent, dating properly, and being dominant alpha males.
I cannot tell you guys how many times women have called me cocky. Women call me cocky. Women think I'm arrogant. Women think I'm full of myself. But They keep being interested in me. They are very, very curious about me. He must think he's all that. When have women ever come up to a nice guy and say, oh, you seem like you're so nice. You seem like a nice boyfriend. No, they stay away from nice guys. When you disgust them, every fluid in their body dries up when they pass a nice guy who's timid and shy. But when I come around, oh, you're so arrogant. You're so full of yourself. Next thing you know, she's in my bed. I'm like, damn, I guess being cocky and entitled, maybe that's the way to go, right? These girls are very, very much entitled. Why aren't you that way?
Like Wes Watson, he also has a fitness program called Fearless One, in which he teaches weak beta men to become high-value men and how to unlock success in fitness, business, friendships, and relationships. The irony of FitX Fearless' entire business is that it wouldn't exist without the beta men he looks down upon. 1 minute, he's preaching independence, yet he wants these weak men to depend on his guidance.
A bunch of you guys watching this video now, if I go to your Instagram, you're following a bunch of girls who don't even know you exist. Why are you following girls who don't follow you back? Why are you doing that? And you claim you're alpha. You're following girls that don't even follow you back. You look pathetic.
Worse still, there's no proof that his alpha transformation methods actually work. In fact, his very brand depends on other people being insecure enough to buy into whatever BS he's selling. And then there's the performance. In many ways, he takes a page out of Wes Watson's books. He's aggressive and in your face, like that's supposed to make his content more believable or genuine. Because nothing screams strength like another man screaming into a camera. Proper alpha male behavior, right? Thankfully, not everyone seems to believe his approach, like one of his followers who clapped back, saying he paid for advice, not a humiliation ritual.
You don't have a job, you're not even in college, you're fat, you play video games.
And you are 5'3", my nigga.
Nigga, what the fuck did you just say to me?
I'm just saying, my nigga, you talking all that shit about me to entertain your fans while everything you mentioned is something I can change. When you stuck at that height forever, dog.
You realize you paid me to try and help you? So why are you acting like a bitch now that I'm telling you the truth?
Nigga, I paid for some advice, not for a fucking humiliation ritual.
When he's not taking after the ex-con, FitX Fearless follows after the fresh and fit guys, even writing a controversial book like Games titled Cracking the Dating Code, a solution for the frustrated man. He also is of the idea that men shouldn't be as open with their emotions, just as Gaines said, with the fitness influencer saying in an interview that men should never say I love you first.
What are the top 5 things a man should never say to a woman?
I love you first.
What, I love you? Why is that a problem?
Not saying I love you specifically, but saying I love you before her. Women, as much as they try to not admit this, they want a man that they are chasing. So when you're telling her you love her first, you're not giving her the thrill of basically getting you to be with her.
He also has videos like how to properly ghost women.
Guys, you always want to do it in a subtle way. You never want to just block the girl or stop responding to her text because you don't want a girl to be vindictive and accuse you of something that you didn't do. So if you got a girl you don't want to see again, this is what you got to do. After, you guys, do the do, and you like, I don't even want to see this girl again, tell her to text you when she gets home. And you're going to respond when she tells you she's home. And then from then moving forward, when she asks to see you, you're going to be busy until she gets the point. That's how you probably ghost women.
Fearless also doesn't think you should put all your eggs in one basket and date women. He wants you to keep your options open, always.
Always be keeping your options open. If you don't keep your options open, if you fall in love, if you decide you're gonna stop dating other women, if you decide you're gonna stop making yourself a catch, you lose.
All of this is ironic, coming from the guy who made a video about being rejected by 100 women.
Excuse me.
Until 11 p.m.
Ladies.
Hold on, it's a lot going on.
Oh, no worries.
And if you needed more proof that he isn't in touch with reality, he made the bold move of telling the world about 3 signs that shows you're a real man.
Here are 3 signs that no one thinks you're a real man. Number 1, you make less than $50K a month. Listen to me, bro. Life starts at $50K a month. You can work a job and be learning skills to be able to give you that income so you can have more financial freedom. Number 2, you don't have a 6-pack. You look at your stomach, you see a blob. Gotta fix your body if you want to be considered a real man. Number 3, you've never gotten in a physical altercation. I'm not asking you to be a Billy, but if you are a man that has never been in a position where you have to defend yourself and you didn't actually defend yourself, you're not a real man.
The first is earning more than $50K a month, then comes having a 6-pack, and finally, having been in a fight. It's silly ideas like this that make alpha males look like losers. I don't see that changing anytime soon. So what do you think? Do you qualify to be a man by FitX Fearless's evaluation? And finally, the face of the red pill movement itself, Andrew Tate. Before Tate found fame as an influencer, he talked down on women and called men with different worldviews weak. He was a martial artist. In fact, it was through kickboxing that he first became popular. Then he appeared on reality shows and cemented himself into pop culture from that moment onward. Tate, like every other person we covered before him, believes men should be dominant, in control, and detached from their feelings. He preaches for men to reclaim their power and status, not because he wants to see them do better, but because he thinks men are superior to women and should not be weak.
Weak men. This is what's scariest about this entire agenda they're trying to purport, because their ideas, like the feminist idea and like the mainstream idea and like Logan Paul's ideas, all their ideals is if we weaken men, then if they become weak enough, they'll no longer be a threat.
But unfortunately, while this type of message is very dangerous, Tate has managed to draw a lot of followers, especially among young men, still trying to figure out who they are in a culture that is constantly changing. His audience also feel like they have been cast aside and meant to feel inferior by society. That's a dangerous thing to believe in when the people pushing out that message also promise wealth, success, and the love and respect of women, because it creates a group of men with a toxic view of the world. What makes Andrew Tate even more dangerous for these men who believe in him is that he actively exploits them. Isn't it ironic that the same guy who wants you to be strong, detached from women, and very successful made a huge fortune from scamming men?
And me and my brother would do all the talking. The girls were just pure, just famoosers, just laughing and doing this. And they were talking to ice cold hustlers. We were taking their money, all of it.
Used to have a webcam business. A lot of people might say, well, you are scamming people.
I sit here, I do not think I've made any mistakes. Every single action I've taken has led me here, and I'm very happy with where I am. As for scamming people, I think the industry as a whole is a scam, but I was not scamming people any more than anyone else involved in that industry. I personally think the industry is a scam.
Tate ran a webcam business with models who entered relationships with random men and sold them sob stories to get money. Tate himself agreed that the entire business was a scam used to rob men. So how can he claim to be interested in your well-being? Also, it isn't funny that the man who believes he's more successful than you and should therefore have more women by his own logic got caught in legal hot water in 2023 for human trafficking and leading an organized crime group. And just because they are walking around freely now doesn't mean they have been freed. The trial is still ongoing, and both Andrew and Tristan could still stand trial and potentially get time behind bars if found guilty. So tell me, is this the role model you think he is? And while Andrew Tate would have you believe his days of scamming men are behind him, that couldn't be more untrue. Tate remains very active in the crypto space, even launching a meme coin called Daddy, which he heavily markets on social media.
Andrew Tate is in the process of trying to do a pump and dump with his fans using his new crypto scam coin. Don't believe me because you think that Andrew Tate would never do anything wrong? Okay, don't. Take a moment and just listen to the man himself.
We're building a revolution here. We're fixing the crypto space once and for all. And to do that, I need to find the soldier. I let the coin go down to try and get the cheats out. Then I made one Telegram message and it blew up again. But I have a feeling there's still cheats amongst us. You need to make a choice. If you're just sell and leave. Don't make me do something drastic and dump it to get rid of you. This is going to $1 billion. So you're either in for the ride. If you're we don't want you on the team.
Like most meme coins, which turned into a pump and dump scheme, Daddy came into the focus of one of the biggest investigative journalists on YouTube, CoffeeZilla. While Tate used to be a fan of the journalist for exposing the scams of the influencers like Logan Paul and others, the minute CoffeeZilla tried to expose him, Tate went on the fence and leaked CoffeeZilla's email address.
One recent hit video came out by a guy called CoffeeZilla, who I actually kind of respected and thought had a brain, but whatever. I want to debate him. I want to talk to that guy. But he was like, I joined and there's people in there and it said it was going to make me rich, but there's people bragging about making $2,000. If you pay $49 to join something and you make $2,000, that's a good investment. So why is that? Why would you make a hit piece saying Tate takes $50 and teaches people how to make $2,000? He's a scammer.
Tate then asked his followers to send abusive messages to the journalist and call him gay rather than addressing the issue that CoffeeZilla brought up. The journalist didn't trade words and instead asked Tate to respond to the questions he asked.
Andrew Tate is a grifter, alleged human trafficker, and unfortunately, and this is true, a CoffeeZilla fan.
CoffeeZilla, who I actually kind of respected and thought had a brain.
That is until I investigated him. Now he's having a meltdown and doesn't like me anymore.
This is my statement to you, CoffeeZilla. You're a Nobody's scared of your investigation. I don't give a about your video. I don't respect your journalism.
Ah, yes. The normal reaction for people who don't care. Melting down on Twitter about how not worried you are.
This all started when Tate tweeted an email he received from CoffeeZilla, who was asking why the Red Pill Bro was suddenly interested in crypto, especially after saying for years that he didn't need to scam his fans to make money. As comedian Cash Singh said, CoffeeZilla had Tate dead to rights with his findings.
CoffeeZilla going at... So I think 5-6 days ago, it just starts going off on CoffeeZilla. He shows an email. CoffeeZilla says, hey, I'm doing an investigation on you and your relationship with crypto. Would you mind answering these questions for me? And it's fairly clear from the questions that CoffeeZilla got him dead to rights. So he's not very happy about it. And the reason he's questioning him is he's always been very anti like coin in particular. Coins, he's adamantly opposed to it. I'll never do it. I don't need to rob my fans. Then all of a sudden he just starts saying like, you know what the problem was with these coins? It's never done right. I'm gonna change crypto. I'm gonna make sure it's done correctly. And then he starts advertising this coin called Roost. He's doing like ads for it. There's flyers all over the place. All of a sudden he's putting it in his live streams. And sure enough, everything that he said was gonna change about crypto does not change with Roost. It goes up and then drops by 90%. The wallet that all the money is being held in gets hacked. And the guy who was holding the Roost coin wallet was anonymous. So everything that he said he didn't like about crypto and he was going to change immediately.
So it got hacked.
Yeah.
In other words, they may or may not have rug pulled.
Tate didn't like that, especially as he started to push a coin called Roost to his followers. While Tate promised everyone that this project would be different, it ended up being the same BS like every other coin before it. But that's not the only time Tate lied. In fact, he said he was never going to launch a coin.
Are you going to launch your own crypto?
No. I'm never gonna launch a crypto. I just like to with crypto Twitter. Because crypto Twitter are full of the biggest degenerate losers on the planet. They're losers. Crypto is the only scenario I can think of where you can make a whole bunch of money while benefiting society zero.
Yet, here we are. He further covered his tracks. Tate pushed his meme coin into his course, known as Hustlers University, which you can join for the sweet price of $49.99 per month. So Andrew Tate can teach you how to be a high-value individual.
So when I tell people don't go to university, you haven't got that time to waste. They say to me, well, what do I do instead? And this is the answer. What you do instead is join my university program. I'm gonna teach you everything from start to finish, everything I've ever learned about business. I've run so many companies, from making money as a professional fighter is running a company. Webcam girls is running a company, selling clothing, professional sales and other jobs, television advertising, you name it, I've made money that way. And there are some business secrets which are universal across every single method. I have 100 business tips I'm going to teach you, which will allow you to make your own money instantly. Forget studying. You can either go to university and look at books and study and be a geek, or you can learn how to make some money, because they don't teach you that in university. They don't teach you how to make money. Have you ever seen a college professor with an S63 and a McLaren and a Lambo and an Aston Martin standing next to a Porsche?
But unfortunately, like his mentee, Luke Belmar, Tate's course is also a flaming pile of doo-doo. In fact, Tate pushes his affiliate marketing program more than he does anything else in the course, which has turned the whole program into a pyramid scheme. CoffeeZilla even made a video exposing Tate's Hustlers University for the scam that it is. The only people who seem to be making money from Hustlers University were those who managed to trick others into joining the course. Hardly any genuine learning is going on, and students are getting the bare minimum information that can be found anywhere on the internet. But don't take my word for it. Here's a review of the course by an ex-student. I was a member of Andrew Tate's Hustle University for nearly 6 months. During that time, I found the platform to be more focused on basic educational videos rather than providing clear step-by-step guidance. The website was complicated to navigate and communication was poor. I rarely received response to my messages. Despite paying $49 per month, around $300 total, I didn't make any money or gain valuable insights. Much of the content was outdated and US focused, and you can often find similar or better information for free on YouTube. In my opinion, the course is not worth the price, and there is no refunds. Be cautious. There is no quick way to get rich, and many of these programs profit by selling hope to those struggling financially. I've canceled my subscription and moved on. The poor reviews continue, with another adding, use it for 1 year, use it as much as I could, and I assure you, it's a scam. The professors are mid, most lessons are trash, the support team is horrible, and it's really a scam. If you support Tate, like I used to do for a long time, do research and think again. Due to the bad PR that came with students speaking up and his crypto connections, Tate eventually rebranded his course to Hustlers University 2.0 and then finally to the real world. Yet everything remains the same. The only thing different is the name. In fact, the problems with the course continued until Google removed the app from the Play Store. So I ask again, is this your hero? So let me know in the comments, what do you think of these alpha male YouTubers? Do you think they are helpful or a menace to society?